with her child, like I said, I can't change none of that happened. But I would just great say I'm not a fake motherfucker. So if I have somebody that blatantly twisting the story, making it seem like something happened that didn't happen in that chat, I'm like, I can't do it. You're not about to sit here, and that's literally like when the police put you in interrogation room, excuse me, and they try to force you to basically admit to a crime you didn't commit. That's the issue that I had. I'm like, the conversation happened, but it was not in the manner that people was trying to make it out to be. But I said I blame myself, because had I not been in that situation in the first place, nothing would be able to be twisted. That's why I'm like, there is nothing that I can say to make this situation right. Bottom line was, had I not did it, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. That's it, that's all. So I'm like, I'm constantly seeing those digs like, oh, well, you got the nerve to talk when you did this. It's like, oh, but you ain't apologized to such and such. I'm not a fake motherfucker. So if the conversation is not going to be had where it could be understood what really happened, I'm not going to sit here and play the game. Nobody truly was caring about what was going on. It was just about the fake outrage that I couldn't respect. And because the emotions were high, I knew that nobody was willing to actually hear what truly happened, so I left it alone. That's it, that's
Okay,
all.
so in my opinion, so the first thing, and I'm not gonna even speak on the situation because Barb not here and I don't want to drag this. I want to go back to the other conversation that you was giving us of the backstory. But the first thing that I had an issue with was I get it, right? You know, me and my homegirls, we scrolling down the live, we see somebody child on the live dancing, being grown. You know, we like, look at this bitch. You know, you look like you need to, you know, your daughter, whatever, right? Even though it's two different perceptions here. Barb know that her daughter was just dancing because she's a dancer, and you and your homegirls was just having a chatty conversation. Now, the minute that it flipped to something else was when the child was actually recorded, right? Because even though it's a difference in you telling your homegirls like, oh, go look, versus you recording it and posting it, right? Because they all have access to the live. They could have went and looked at it themselves. Also, with a man being inside that chat, I don't fuck with that at all. And if it was me, I'm not gonna lie. If I was Barb, if I would have ever got up with you, we would have had to get out there, because that's just how I operate when it comes down to kids. But I don't agree with the jacket being put on there that it was done to, you know, to type of like sexually exploit the child or anything like that, because I know for a fact that that was not your intentions. I don't think that it was like, you know, looking at the child sexually or anything like that. But whatever narrative people need to spin, whatever narrative people need to spin to make it look like that, then that's just what it is. So
And
I don't believe that.
that's the issue that I struggle with, because I'm like, that was fucked up. Knowing that I'm a mother myself, why would I look at somebody else's child in that manner?
Right.
I'm
But
like,
I
did
believe
anybody
that
actually pay attention to how the conversation started and how
I've
it
seen the
ended?
messages, but I believe that, Bella, I think that from, you know, I get that everybody was coming at you. And again, I feel like you have a very strong personality. You have that personality, like, okay, after you get frustrated, because I can't remember what the fuck you be saying, but you be saying something like, oh, are y'all dumb? Are y'all stupid? Whatever the hell you be saying. But I feel like that what you could have done different, you could have, you know, empathize with Barb way more. When Barb was like, you know, when it was like, you're going to apologize, and you said no. And maybe it was the heat of the moment, but I just don't feel like that should have happened that way, right? I feel like you could have
I
empathized
agree
with
with
her.
you.
Yeah, you could have empathized with her a little bit more. In that day when she came, you could have let her up in that panel, because me, if I know that I didn't mean something, because it's hard, right, to hear everybody telling me that I'm wrong at one time and to try to get, but the only person that I feel like you should have spoke to that day was Barb. And I would have sat back and I would have took that shit and I would have said, you know what? At the end of the day, the truth will set me free. Let Barb go ahead and get her shit off. We know how Barb is. Let Barb go ahead and get her shit off, because it did happen. Regardless of whether we want to say what was our intent and what else was supposed to happen, it happened, right? When you go to court, they don't want to know why you unalive somebody. It's, did you do it? Yes or no? That's it. Not why. Oh, I did it because they would, that really don't matter. Did you do it? Yes or no? So I would have took the heat from Barb, and probably by now everything would have been resolved, and Barb probably would have never mess with you again the same way, but you know, she would be over it. That's just my opinion. So you said you agree, and I'm glad that you accept that and that you receive that. But that's what I feel like you could have done different. That's it.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Okay, Roy, I wanted to say something first, and then security, you go ahead.
It don't matter now because she gone, but I was just gonna piggyback off